Fomorians are threatening to overrun all the lands. The Regent of Medisham has built an extensive trade network across all the remaining regions of Britannia.
On my way.
You are in dire need of Merlin's arcane knowledge to find a cure for your father. Although you discovered the wizard's secret workshop, it didn't help, so you decide to find his apprentices. It's more difficult than it sounds. They are just as mysterious as their master. But you learn that one of them, Broderick, is in Worcester. The once proud city of Worcester now lies in ruins. Following the reign of the possessed, the population is decimated, and people are scared and distrustful. It will be hard to rebuild this area, but right now your task is to find the apprentice, so you can rebuild Britannia itself. Lord Rufus grows very angry when you mention the apprentice.
He left and good riddance.
You explain that you need to find him.
Oh, he left a tricky message, and if you can solve it, you'll know where he went. I have one part, and the bishop and a merchant have the others. Well, the apprentice left us each a riddle, as if we have the time for such things. Mine says, people call me blind, for I only have eyes for the truth.
Lord Rufus snorts.
He expected us to get together and try to solve the riddles, as though we actually cared about where he went. Justice, that's it! There's a broken statue outside the walls, a statue of the Roman goddess of justice, the blind one. It used to be a secret meeting place of criminals, heathens, and lovers.
You can't really tell which of these Lord Rufus hates the most. He is a strict man. Idris Gok is from Wales. He's a man of the old faith and a successful merchant. He shakes his head saying,
The apprentice was forced to leave. He left a challenge. If you are clever, brave, or ruthless enough to solve it, you can follow him. You need to be one of these to succeed where he is now.
Idris Gok takes out a box. It's closed by a dial, which reads CABLANE.
The letters are scrambled. The box opens if you find the right combination. I haven't tried to open it. My place is here in Worcester. I can't follow the apprentice, but I can help him find the right man.
The lock clicks open, and you find a filigreed silver scale in the box. It is beautiful, but doesn't tell you where the apprentice went. It's just part of a bigger puzzle. You say goodbye to Idris Gok and go to see if you can solve the riddle the apprentice left you. When you ask the bishop about the apprentice, he sighs sadly.
The possessed caused much hatred. The apprentice tried to bring us back together, but he failed and was forced to leave. He left a message so that those in need can find him, if they're clever, brave, or ruthless enough. Red fire shaped me from red earth. Red broth I drank, and each evening in red air I bathe.
The bishop shakes his head.
I don't know the answer. I didn't have much time to think about it, but the apprentice told me he meant an actual existing object that you will need later.
The bishop scratches his head.
I don't think it's a poker, he says. A poker is just too mundane for such a riddle. It must be something more symbolic. A weapon, perhaps. But I don't know much about weapons, to be honest. It could be a spear, or maybe a sword.
You find the statue of Justitia just outside Worcester. It's old and worn. Her right hand gripped a stick or a weapon, while her left lifted or held something with fingers not fully closed. Was she carrying a scroll? Dropping a handkerchief? Scattering a handful of dust? A small niche opens in the statue. In it is a letter from the apprentice.
I went to London. It's a dangerous place. Only those should follow who are ruthless enough to force their way through, or can cooperate and accept help, or are so clever they can outwit anyone. All others are doomed to fail.
The trail of Merlin's apprentice leads to London, the last mortal stronghold standing in the middle of the growing wasteland. You must pursue his trail immediately, my lord, but beware. By a strange twist of fate, the protector of London is the most fearsome knight of Britannia, Sir Caradoc, who is making good use of his ruthless nature to fight evil in its purest form.
Ready to serve.
Merlin's apprentice, your journey takes you to London, the last stronghold standing in the middle of the terrible wastelands. London is under the rule of the infamous Sir Caradoc, who has become the iron-fisted protector of the refugees. The gigantic stronghold of London is under martial law. At the colossal gates you see guards armed to the teeth. The ramparts are crawling with sentinels, and the priests and healers are keeping an eye on newcomers, looking for signs of Fomorian infection. London is a maze of alleys and stairs, tawdry huts and huge palaces. You see signs of the recent plague, chalk marks on the doors, the remains of bonfires and solemn faces in the bustling crowd. The captain of the town watch listens to you nervously, and finally admits that they have already escorted Merlin's apprentice to the castle, as Sir Caradog ordered. But he quickly adds that his men will take you to the Lord of London. You accept his offer. The legendary Sir Caradog receives you in a marble hall. You've heard stories about his ferocity, cruelty, and skills in battle. And at first sight, the man you see definitely fits the description. When he greets you, however, his voice is cordial and friendly. He offers you a cup of wine. Sir Caradog knows exactly why you are here, and he's not beating around the bush at all. He tells you that he knows where Merlin's apprentice is, in the dungeons of London, as a prisoner of Sir Caradog himself.
Fate has chosen me to defend London, says Caradog grimly. I'm not a weak man, and this town needed someone like me. Someone who rules with an iron fist and makes harsh decisions. I'm protecting them from the spawns of hell, so I can't permit any insubordination, not even from a wizard.
Sir Caradog seems to ignore your demands, because he launches into praising your recent victories. He has a great opinion of your leadership and your efficiency in destroying the Fomorian hordes north of London. He hints that you could easily achieve the same in the south. Sir Caradog's anger immediately flares up, proving that the legends about his temper were true. He barks at you and sets aside the courtesies. He wants you to destroy the Fomorian lord dwelling in the southern provinces. If you succeed, you can talk to the apprentice.
My good sir, Oxford is in need of your aid. A devastating plague is transforming our townsfolk into terrible creatures. We try to fight the infection, but we are losing the battle. We simply cannot find the harbingers of the sickness. We know that you have experience in such matters. Come immediately.
Succumbing to the Fomorian infection in Oxford. City guards slay them by the dozen, but the blight keeps on spreading. You must find the possessed creature who is behind this and get rid of him for good before he summons his master. You leave your army at the city gates and only bring half a dozen of your finest men along. town looks as if it has been hit by the plague. Guards are patrolling from house to house looking for infected people. The funeral pyres send clouds of ash into the wind. The folk of Oxford are visibly mourning. The captain of the guards tells you that the slums are almost abandoned. Those who stayed healthy left for greener pastures, and they would rather live in the wilderness than die in their homes. Of course, we searched everything, but it was all in vain. We found lots of infected people hiding there, but we couldn't get closer to the one who is responsible for the plague. No, not really. All we know is that the symptoms are only visible a few days after the disease itself rears its head, and one human can't infect another. We think that there must be something behind the spread of the illness, maybe the work of a demon. You see that the captain is taken aback, but you keep talking. The Fomorians want to open a gate to the eternal prison where their god dwells. Some of the first victims might have become demons by now. If we have finished here, have the gates of the city closed immediately. The slums are built on the ruins of the old town that was burned down. You'll mostly find wooden huts there, but there are some abandoned stone buildings as well. The whole neighborhood is a maze. Recently we found a lot of infected wretches in the guild quarter and near the graveyard. The reservoirs in the old tower that was built to defend the main gate of the old town are in the guild quarter. In the cemetery you can find the crypts of the ancient founders of Oxford. Maybe they are connected through the old tunnels. When they rebuilt Oxford after the fires of the last great battles, the guards helped to fill in the devastated sections. Of course, there might be still accessible parts in the depths. Do you think they are hiding down there? The monastery is old and empty. You find only one man in the archives, studying some old scrolls. He tells you that the master archivist succumbed to the infection 2 weeks ago.
I am terribly sorry, but I hardly know anything about this place. I can't even find the annals I'm looking for crying out loud.
He seems genuinely annoyed. You consult the master archivist's notes, and you find records compiled by the cartographers of Camelot. You draw a map of the tunnels. You also find out that the tunnels have 3 exits in the crypts of the founders, and 2 others in the houses attached to the old city walls. According to the map, there aren't any tunnels leading to the gate tower, but you still keep that possibility in mind. You are not too confident how this can help you fight this terrible disease, though. You send your warriors and the city guards to every possible tunnel exit, then slowly move inside from every direction. You kill half a dozen possessed creatures and almost 100 infected until dawn, and it seems like you managed to clean the tunnels afterwards. You leave the town with a sour taste in your mouth, although you know that you did everything in your power to eliminate the infection, and the city will not pose a threat in the future. Your spell was absorbed. Your soldiers are going to die. Your units are in danger.
Fire!
The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is fading. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your spell was absorbed. Your men are going to die. Your unit is going to die. Your spell was absorbed.
Fire!
Your unit is going to die. Your men are going to die.
Fire!
Your spell was absorbed.
Fire!
Enemy hero is casting a... The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is fading. Your unit is going to die. is casting a The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is fading. Your units are in danger.
Fire!
The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell was cast. Your men are going to die. Your units are in danger. Your hero is in grave danger. Your unit is going to die.
Fire!
Victory is near. We are losing the battle. Your soldiers are going to die.
On my way. On my way.
Yes, my liege.
Ready to serve. Yes, my lord.
Following the trail of Broderick, Merlin's apprentice, your journey took you to London, the last stronghold standing in the middle of the terrible wasteland.
On my way.
Following the trail of Broderick, Merlin's apprentice, your journey took you to London, the last stronghold standing in the middle of the terrible wastelands. London is under the rule of the infamous Sir Caradoc. Word of your victories in the south precedes your arrival in London. The guards greet you respectfully at the gate and they immediately escort you to the castle. The refugees of London fill the ramparts and cheer you happily. You meet Sir Caradoc in the same hall as earlier. He offers you wine and food and expresses his gratitude. You can clearly tell that he means it. You have earned his approval as a knight and an army leader. You dig into the heaps of food and fill your cup with wine. While you are eating, you discuss your victories and the nature of the Fomorians. Finally, you politely remind him of his promise. Sir Caradoc summons his guards and tells them to escort you to the prisoner. You enter the bleak dungeons of London. The row of empty cells is a clear reminder of Caradoc's law. The most common punishment here is execution. The apprentice is alone in a barren chamber. You send away the guards and turn to the man. You expected a young man, but you see a middle-aged, haggard man instead. He has wild hair and an unkempt beard, and his clothes are dirty rags. He casts a suspicious glance at you, but he says nothing. Broderick gives you a tired look.
I made a mistake and trusted Caradoc. I constructed the arcane defenses of London that keep the Fomorians away from the walls.
It doesn't really feel like a proper answer, and you are too impatient for such riddles.
The spell of protection is tied to me. If I get injured, it weakens. If I die, it's gone. After I made the necessary preparations, I wanted to leave, but Caradoc couldn't allow that. For the sake of London, he said, you must have paid a huge price if he let you down here to talk to me.
Broderick stares at you defiantly.
If I answer your question, you'll leave me here to rot. But if you could persuade Caradoc to set me free, I could help you. Or you could just take over London in the name of Arthur. You should take back what's yours.
Despite his infamous temper, Sir Caradoc hears you out patiently. He even seems to think over your proposal carefully. You don't want to rush him, so you wait silently.
I can't set Broderick free,
He says finally.
It would put the whole city in danger.
You are running out of options here, while you are perfectly aware of the dangers of threatening the Lord of London in his own stronghold. Even if only for a heartbeat, Sir Caradoc loses his temper, and you glimpse his true self behind the mask of the grim commander. But he immediately regains his calm and offers you a deal. If you must deprive London of its protection, give him 2,000 gold to cover the expenses of the necessary reinforcements. Even if only for a heartbeat, Sir Caradoc loses. You leave the castle and the narrow alleys of London, pondering your chances against the armies of Caradoc. Finally, you realize that your chances of victory rely solely on the apprentice and his promise to disable the arcane defenses of London. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. unit is going to die. The enemy hero is casting a spell.
Fire!
Your units are in danger. Your spell was absorbed. Your units are in danger. The enemy has cast a spell. Your unit is going to die. The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell was cast.
Fire! Fire!
casting a spell. A spell has been cast. Your soldiers are going to die. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your men are going to die. A spell has been cast. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Enemy hero is casting a spell.
Fire!
The enemy hero is casting a spell. Is casting a spell. Enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell. soldiers are going to die. Your soldiers are going to die. Send your men down to the dungeons, and they return with Broderick. Merlin's apprentice stands bemused in the sunlight. You remind him of his promise. Broderick gives you a crooked smile.
Merlin has disappeared without a trace. We tried to find him, but to no avail. Even our spells proved worthless. Morgana Le Fay, the enchantress, had the strongest ties with him, and the last I heard, she claimed to be close to finding him. As far as I know, she is in Glastonbury, in our secluded sanctuary in the marshland. They are defending the former abbey against the Fomorians. But be careful with Morgana. She is a powerful enchantress who craves more power and would do anything to accomplish her goals.
So you want to find Morgana Le Fay, my lord? Then hear out my advice, if I might be so bold. Be very careful. She is a temptress and a mighty enchantress, half mortal, half she, and her incredible beauty is matched by her insatiable craving for arcane power. Then again, if anyone can help you find Merlin, it's her. Alas, it seems that Broderick was telling the truth. Morgana is trapped in the former Glastonbury Abbey, defending their cabal against the Fomorian hordes. You have to get through their magical defenses first. My good sir, your true intention was clearly to spare lives in Oxford. I know that you tried everything, but the infected couldn't be cured. They are gone. And the creatures that devoured their souls are busy tearing a hole into the world near the town. You must stop them!
We come to beg your help, my lord, on behalf of the good people of Ilchester. Now, our small town is only trying to survive on its own, but we found ourselves in the middle of a territorial dispute between the tyrant of Dorset on the west and the pagan Saxons to the east. They both lay claim to our independent town and are ready to go to war for Ilchester. We, on the other hand, do not wish to bow to either of them. They would not even hear us out, but they would surely listen to the voice of the king himself.
The Regent of Medisham is dedicated to maintaining the growth.
Ready to serve.
Yes, my liege.
On my way.
Yes, my liege.
On my way.
The town of Ilchester has sent an envoy to King Arthur with a complaint. The growing wasteland surrounding the township has already made their life difficult, but now there are also two kingdoms fighting over their small territory. They are poor and insignificant, which can only mean one thing. The conflict is likely the result of ideological or religious reasons. hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is fading. Enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell.
Fire!
The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell has been cast. Your units are in danger. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your units are in danger. The enemy has cast a spell. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your unit is going to die. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your unit is going to die. Your unit is going to die.
Fire!
A spell has been cast.
Fire! Fire!
Your hero is in grave danger. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell.
Fire!
Your units are in danger.